Hi, today we've got a bit of a tech session special for you as we're here in Brighton for a very exciting clinic with two players who you just might recognise from iDrum. They're a pair of drummers and educators who have legions of fans and followers all over the world and whose combined experience and knowledge of the music industry is unrivaled. Pat Garvey and Luke Flowers. Hi gents, have you worked together before in any format? No. So how did, it came about through Zen, obviously.
Zen, yeah, because you teach Zen.
Well, I teach Zen, and he's a massive fan, as I am, of Luke's playing, and Zen has also been trying to get me in a room with my drum kit with a seat for him to sit down in front of it for a while. So I think he found the perfect excuse, if you like.
Yeah.
Perfect plan.
He's battering away in both our drum kits now, I think, isn't he? So,
it's destroying them as we speak.
Yeah.
Good on him. Pat, you're head of drums at BIM.
Yeah.
And you've learnt with some of the best teachers in the world. Drum education must mean a lot to you.
Yeah, it's very high up on my list of priorities. It's something I take immensely seriously. And like you say, I'm head of drums at BIM. There's a great bunch of guys there that really care. Some great courses, and I do a spot of private teaching as well. The whole teaching thing's fairly new to me, as in the last kind of 4 or 5 years. But that's kind of how long it took before I really felt I had something to share of real value. To be able to teach, because there's a big difference between showing someone something and actually being able to teach someone. It's a different.
Yeah, especially when you try to gear people up to a sort of professional level.
Yeah.
And, at college and stuff, it's one thing teaching some basic beats, but you're doing a whole package, aren't you? You try to teach people about the business and about playing and the whole thing. So. Yeah,
I mean they're very important elements that a lot of people bypass just because they're playing as a hobby or whatever. Yeah. And Luke, we've spoken in the past about you teaching and the importance of that for you. Is it becoming more so? Are we going to see more Luke Flowers drum clinics in the future?
Yeah, drum clinics is something I'm quite up for doing, but also I'm very busy playing at the minute, so this is good being able to do this because I had a show in London last night, so I meant I could come down today. But yeah, it's I think it's great fun. It's nice to be able to pass something on. Definitely. So
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of drum education, there's so much material out there, so many educational resources, online and in books and DVDs and everything. I mean, I think it's a great thing, but it can be overwhelming. I mean, how do you see it progressing? How do you see it going?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole online. How do you see it progressing? It's interesting because suddenly you've got this forum where there's a lot of information readily available, and a lot of it's the kind of information you would maybe 10, 20 years ago had to really, spend a lot of time really studying with someone to even get to that point. So there's a whole kind of there's a few levels that I think are starting to get missed out. I think it's just going to come back round, and it's going to have to get a bit more kind of sensible. And
it's very easy to, I think, when you're wanting to watch some of your heroes, you look up on YouTube, and instead of seeing the whole tune, often it's just like the drum solo as well, and it's all these people at 100 miles an hour going flat out, and that's a lot of the time that's the first time people will see their heroes doing these huge drum solos. And I'm so used to growing up with records and listening to a whole record.
That's
just
the
sitting there
difference,
for 45 minutes, an hour, listen to the whole music instead of just little snapshots here and there, which is often the way. There's so much, it's saturated. YouTube is an incredible thing, but also how do you choose? There's only so much time. There's another 1,000 clips of this guy on. I've got to check them all out, and it's tricky. Yeah. So I like to get deep into something and listen to it 100 times and really learn everything about it.
So do you think that young players and students need to have a bit of self-discipline when it comes to that, and know their boundaries, know their limits, know the steps that they need to take to get to a certain level, rather than just jumping ahead of themselves?
Young guys now really need to have an element of discipline, or when they're ready, be shown that discipline, or how to use that discipline and implement it with regard to that kind of study, and especially with the whole YouTube kind of thing. It's something to be really wary of, actually. I think, because like you said, it's I'm used to you get a record, you listen to the whole thing. There's a drum solo at the end, great. By the time the drum solo happens, well, you understand it. If you just listen to that,
Yeah, you hear the whole thing in context, don't you?
Yeah, it's in
you
context.
hear the tune that's in.
In music, and
yeah.
you know, it's about the music. It's not about this thing.
Yeah. And about finding your own personality as a musician as well, not just copying someone verbatim.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I mean, you two are both quite different musicians, you know. I mean, obviously both very hard-working, successful and talented equally. But your sound is very different. What would you put that down to?
Well, I mean, it's just your people's sound and your approach. God, how do you explain that? It's everything that you've ever done. Your personality, your upbringing, your experiences in life, everything goes towards making you the musician you are and choosing the sounds that you do. The kind of people you end up hanging around with, the kind of musicians, you always get steered in certain directions, don't you?
Yeah,
you
do, yeah.
Falling into certain areas of music and who knows?
It's everything, isn't it?
It's everything.
It's a very different. I mean, I came from a classical background, which is very high discipline, very, very kind of studious. Maybe that's got something to do with my sound now. I don't know. It was never a kind of free thing for me until like maybe 7 years ago. Then I kind of opened up to this whole thing where Luke's very free and flowing and lovely to watch and listen to, and I'm the other way around. Not that I'm horrible to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Now, we won't keep you for too much longer because I know that you've got things to be doing, like this clinic that we're talking about, for instance. Can you tell us a little bit briefly about the folks that you've got supporting the event tonight? Because you've got some great companies involved.
We have Soul Tone supporting the event this evening, and Canopus, Protection Racket.
Yeah, the guys at Protection Racket, the Vata, Sabian, Tiki Drums, all guys, the Porter and Davis crew with the Gigster and the BC2, all guys that really help us do our jobs at the level that we do them at now.
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult without their support, actually. So yeah, they've sent down a lot of stuff for a nice little free prize giveaway later.
Yeah,
exciting
For
stuff.
some of the guys, yeah. So yeah, it's very good.
Excellent. Okay. Could you, if you had to sum up your advice that you're going to be giving tonight and the kind of general ethos of your own individual section, could you do that in a sentence?
Well, I just want to try and teach people to be musical and to listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about inspiring people at the end of the day, and it's not about giving people answers or anything like that. It's more about asking the right questions of people and just hoping that people get something out of it and getting across what's important. Practice, get out and play, and work very, very hard.
Yeah, don't spend all your time on YouTube and just practicing in your bedroom.
No.
And practice is great, but yeah, play, mix with other people, play with musicians,
meet people and play with musicians.
Yeah.
Don't spend all your time on YouTube unless it's iDrum tutorials, of course.
Yeah.
Right, great. Well, thank you very much. Looking forward to tonight. It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure talking to you both. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
Cheers.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Okay, so please do keep an eye out for segments of tonight's clinic over the coming issues of iDrum, including exclusive transcriptions of tunes and exercises from the event. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.